That fake young master is a two-faced snake. He wanted me to know that the 5 sisters like him the most. Therefore, on my very first day in the mansion, he deliberately made the 5 sisters stop me outside at the main gate. No matter how much I knocked, no one answered. I did not step back. I grabbed a fire axe and without a second thought swung it straight at the gate. The Jang family, who was watching on the security cameras, was shocked by that wild move. I did not hesitate at all. I placed the axe on my shoulder and walked inside. Jang Yunuo was standing behind the others. His face turned pale with fear, and the 5 sisters came in front of him without a thought to save him, and were looking at me with cold, sugary eyes. Their words felt like a knife. Feng Shiwan, the price of that door is 8 locks. You are just an ordinary person from a village. Do you think you will be able to pay for this? First of all, Zhang Nu's eldest sister, Zhang Wangxia, spoke. It has been 18 years and you didn't die there yet. What was the need to come back? The 3rd sister, Zhang Meiling, interrupted in between. Her hatred was clearly visible. Look at your condition. Standing near you makes even us look bad. The 5th sister, Zhang Yutong, folded her hands. There was pride in her eyes. If you want your own well-being, then stay in the room that we have prepared for you and never show your face again. My eyes locked onto Zhang Wangxia, the woman who, in my past life, plunged the knife given by Zhang Yanyo into my waist with her own hands. She got nervous by that look. She unintentionally took a step back. I turned towards the housekeeper standing beside me. Aunt Chan, take me to my room. Aunt Chan did not move. She looked at me with hatred. Who do you think you are to order me? I smiled. This woman had made my past life difficult. Today, she will be the first one I deal with. I slowly went near her, grabbed Aunt Chan's tied hair, and pulled it hard. She fell to the ground, screaming in pain. I dragged her past the Jang siblings and said, I am going upstairs to choose my room. I want the biggest room. The color drained from everyone's face in the room. Zhang Yutong immediately replied, the biggest room belongs to Yanuo. Who do you think you are? I kept walking. Completely ignoring her, I dragged Aunt Chin up the stairs, deliberately let her collide with the walls on both sides. With every collision, a sharp wave of pain shot through her back. Aunt John could not bear it anymore. Young master, please leave me. I will take you to the room. I will take you to the room. In just a short while, I reached the 2nd floor and turned straight right. Zhang Inuo's 5 sisters could not stop anymore. They all came running upstairs behind me, and there they found me standing in front of their beloved brother's bedroom door, holding a fire axe. Feng Sivan, you wouldn't dare, Zhang Wangxia said angrily, although there was a slight tremble in her voice. If you put that axe down, then leave this family forever. I dragged Aunt Chan, whose face was like ash, over the broken door and walked inside. Behind me, Zhang Yanuo's fists clenched. It was difficult to hide the hatred in his eyes. Now this is my room. I left Aunt Chan and threw her aside like trash. Zhang Yanyu took a deep breath, trying to suppress the growing anger and nervousness inside him. He extended his hand and, pulling Zhang Wangxia's sleeve, said in a low voice, Wang Shi, let it go. He has suffered a lot outside. He is the real eldest young master of the Jang family. All of this is his right. I grew up with you all, but in the end, I'm not of Zhang blood. As long as I can stay in this house and stay near you, that is enough for me. If he wants this room, give it to him. His trick, wrapped in sweet words, worked exactly as he had thought. It ignited the sisters' anger and filled them with protectiveness for him. You, don't worry. Zhang Wangxie came in front of him. Her voice was like iron. I will not let him take your room. He should only get a storage closet. Let's throw him out right now. The 3rd sister, Zhang Meiling, was already moving to force her way inside. As soon as the sisters came inside, they were met with my completely shameless smile. A line of muddy boot prints was formed on the snow-white imported cashmere carpet. Zhang Yanuo spoke right on time, his voice filled with pain. That carpet, Meiling brought it for me from abroad. It is a limited edition. He left the sentence incomplete. There was no need to complete it. The sisters burst out in anger. Feng Shi Yuan! Zhang Mingling thrust her finger into my face. I have never seen a shameless person like you in my entire life. This is Yuo's room. Will you go by yourself, or will we have to drag you out? Such scenes had happened many times in my past life. life. I was used to it. If anything, I felt like laughing. I spread my hands and gave a cold smile. This room is mine. Go ahead and show me by doing something. That shameless challenge forced them to cross the limit. Zhang Wangxia's eyes turned cold. She moved forward to throw me out herself. Zhang Yunuo grabbed her hand. There was an expression of wounded helplessness on his face. Wangxia, forget it. This is his room. He is the real eldest young master. Don't blame him. If anyone should go out, it is me. He moved towards me. His voice was soft. Don't be angry. They are behaving like this because they worry about me. I had heard such tricks wrapped in sweet words a lot in my past life. It made me feel disgusted. I did not want to hear another word of it. I moved forward and slapped Zhang Yanyu hard across the face, breaking the mask of his fake innocence. He held his immediately swollen cheek, looking at me in surprise. Tears came immediately, falling in large drops as if he were the saddest person in the world. You know! Several voices screamed together. All 5 sisters lunged towards me, staring as if I had committed an unforgivable crime. Zhang Wangxia lost her temper. Her well-cleaned hand swung towards my face, sharp nails cutting through the air. My eyes hardened. I suddenly raised my hand and grabbed her wrist. My second hand came without mercy, struck her cold, beautiful cheek. At the same time, my leg was already moving. A sharp side kick straight to her stomach across that expensive skirt. Zhang Wangxia screamed in pain and stumbled back, collided with the second sister, Zhangsha, behind her. Both fell down together. The rest of the Jang family froze, so shocked that they couldn't react. Zhang Yanwo looked at me. His voice was breaking with dramatic pain. How did you hit Wangxia and Xia? If you have any complaint, take it out on me. I had no patience for his drama. I moved forward and grabbed Zhang Nu's throat. I lifted him until his feet rose off the ground, then moved my empty hand back and forth. 2 sharp slaps landed one after the other. A long-forgotten wave of satisfaction shot through me. Zhang Yanuo's face was a mask of fear. He was struggling in vain like a chicken caught by the throat. Leave him! Shouts burst out as the remaining sisters all lunged at me. The third sister, Zhang Meiling, picked up a decorative crystal vase from nearby and started to smash it towards my head. I stepped back a little, let him go, and pulled Zhang Yanwo forward into the path of that blow. By the time Zhang Meiling realized who was in front of her, it was too late to stop. The crystal vase collided with Zhang Yanwo's head. A blood-curdling scream echoed in the air. I let him go and stepped back, watching Zhang Yanwo holding his head, blood seeping through his fingers. The smile on my face was as cold as ice. Wow, looks like someone's head has cracked open. My voice was almost playful. Beautiful. Zhang Yanuo pressed his hands to his head, feeling the warm blood. There was utter panic on his face. Blood! Blood is coming out! Will my face be ruined? Even Zhang Wangxia was shaken. She forgot her pain and quickly stood up. You, Yanuo, I didn't mean to. Bring the first aid kit right now, Zhang Sha said in a sharp voice. She was a doctor and she kept her mind calm. Quickly went to Zhang Inuo. She looked at the wound and handled it. Yo, don't be afraid. I am here. This is just a superficial wound. You will be fine. The first aid kit arrived quickly. Zhang Sha carefully cleaned the wound and bandaged it. In that small, quiet moment, Zhang Wangxia raised her eyes to me. Her anger was absolutely clear. Feng Shiwen, she said through gritted teeth. You came back, and within an hour, Yuo is bleeding. How can you be so cruel? If you have even a little sense left, leave this family right now. I burst out laughing in a loud and funny way. Zhang Wangxia, did I hurt Zhang Yanuo? Wasn't it your beloved third sister who broke the vase on his head with her own hands? Everyone here saw it. I covered my mouth as another laugh escaped. A bit dramatic, perhaps, but the satisfaction was completely real. Wow, dog eating dog. Or should I say sisters tearing each other apart? What a sight. Zhang Wangxia's face turned truly ugly. She was so flustered with anger that she couldn't speak a word. Zhang Yutong marched towards me in anger. Her face was distorted with rage. Oh, so it wasn't your fault. If you hadn't dodged the vase, it would never have hit you. You did this. You are a jinx. Listen to this logic. Exactly the same mindless thinking as in my past life. I raised my hand as if I was about to slap her. Zhang Yutong had learned her lesson. She moved aside without thinking, and I said, and I thought you all were so stupid that if someone attacked you, you couldn't even duck. Turns out you do know how to get out of the way. I grabbed her collar and pulled her close to me. My voice dropped dropped low, but every word was clearly audible in her ear. Jang Yutong, that was just a test. I wanted to see if you would even try to dodge or not. If I really wanted to hit you, do you think you would have been able to escape? Before she could reply, crack, crack. Two sharp slaps, first left then right, clean and echoing. Feng Shivan, what are you doing now? A familiar voice came from the door. I looked up. Everyone had come home at the exact right time. My so-called father, Zhang Shiyu, and that stepmother who always hated me, Su Yuewa, were standing at the door. Their faces were gray as iron when they saw this sight. The whole family was finally gathered. My game could truly begin now. Su Yuewa had just seen me hitting her daughter. The anger inside her rose so fast that she couldn't stop it. Then she saw Zhang Yano. There was blood on his face. The anger intensified. She marched inside. Leave my daughter! I looked at their shocked and angry faces and let go of Jang Yutong. I reached out, pulled a wet wipe from a nearby box, and casually cleaned my fingers as if I had just touched something dirty. As soon as Su Yuehua saw her daughter's swollen face, her heart broke. She glared at me and her words were cruel. If I knew you were so cruel, I would have strangled you the moment I saw you. She is your sister. How dare you raise a hand on her? If you want to live in this house, you will live with manners. When I say stand up, you will stand up. When I say kneel down, you will kneel down. I raised my eyebrows, completely indifferent. If Madame Zhang dislikes me so much, I will leave. To be honest, I am not that eager to claim a right on this family anyway. A wave of joy shot through Zhang Yinuo's chest. Good, never come back. The Zhang family only needs one eldest young master. Sui Weiwa was about to throw me out, but Zhang Shanwei grabbed her hand and spoke first. Feng An, don't say such things. You are our son. What your mother said. She said because she is upset. Don't take it to heart. I said nothing. I actually had no intention of leaving. This was my battlefield. I was not going anywhere until everyone had paid their debts. And this moment just confirmed that the Zhang family cared a lot about the bloodline that I carried behind me. So now that you are in this house, behave yourself. You will follow our rules. Whatever you say and do reflects on this family. Such behavior is shameful. This is against the dignity of the eldest son of the Zhang family, and it reflects badly on all of us. In the outside world, you will be introduced as our adopted son. Yuo will remain the eldest young master of the Zhang family. I raised my eyebrows and looked towards the quietly standing Zhang Shanyu, my father and the real power behind the Yang family. Mr. Zhang, I changed the way I addressed him. My voice was intentionally distant. Do you also think that all of this is my fault? Zhang Shanwei's face darkened. His eyes swept over me, then on Zhang Yinwo, then on every sister. They stopped upon coming to my face, examining, calculating, a calculation he was trying hard to hide. Before he could speak, Su Weiwa angrily interrupted in between. If I knew you were this kind of trouble, we should never have brought you back. You are a disease for this house. You came back in one day and turned everything upside down. Just stop it. Zhang Shanyu finally spoke. Cutting off Su Yewa's long tirade, he took a breath and turned towards me. His voice was trying to remain calm, but it still had the same clear tone of looking down from above. Fashion, didn't the butler explain everything to you? Yes, you are my biological son, but Yunuo has been with us for so many years. In our hearts, he is already family. I am telling you to find a way to live together. He paused. There was a warning in his voice. Now that you are back in this house, you will follow our rules. What you just did was absolutely wrong. Apologize to your mother, your sisters, and Yanwo. I let out a short, amused laugh, as if I had just heard the funniest thing in the world. Mr. Zhang, I think you are thinking backwards. I moved forward, meeting his gaze. The moment I walked in through that door. Did your wife? Did your daughters? Did this fake person who snatched everything from me? Has any of them shown me even a shred of respect? Locking me out of my own house. Are these your rules? Telling me to sleep in a storage closet? Are these your rules? Screaming at me to get out? Are these your rules? Breaking a vase on my head. Is this what is called rules in the Zhang family? My voice grew colder and sharper with every word. If these are your rules, then I am sorry. I do not follow them. I threw a wet wipe onto the ground and swept my gaze across everyone in the the room. My eyes locked onto Jang Shanyu and stopped there. Since this family does not want me here, I will not claim a right on you. I will leave. I turned to leave. Zhang Yano's heart leapt. He wanted nothing more than for me to walk out that door. So Yuewa could barely contain her words. So go. Stop. Zhang Shanwei's voice cracked like a whip. His face changed several times quickly. He did not care whether I lived or died, but he cared a lot about what I could represent. The Tang family of the capital. That connection was the ladder that could include the Jang family among the big people of the capital. He could not let me go. Fangshan, I will not hear such talk again. You are my son. This is your home. There was no room for argument in his voice. Your mother and sisters said all that only out of concern for you. Don't take it to heart. I stopped. I did not turn around, but I did not take another step towards the door either. I was not really going to leave. This was my battleground. How could I leave until all these relatives had paid their debt? Zhang Shanyu's desire to connect with the Tang family was my biggest protection. Seeing me stop, Zhang Shanyu breathed a sigh of relief. He looked at Suyewa and the sister. There was a clear warning in his voice. I am saying this once more. Fang Xian is my biological son, your own blood brother. Whoever throws him out again or tells him to leave will not like what follows. Dad, Zhang Wenxia said, placing her hand on her aching face. She could not believe this. Shut up. He looked at her angrily. Look at the state of you all, screaming and hitting each other. What will people think if this gets out? He finally looked towards me. His voice softened slightly. Fengshan, the room is yours, just as you said. Inuo, you will move to the guest room next door. Dad, Zhang Inuo stared at Zhang Shanyu. There was surprise on his face. There were tears in his eyes. His whole body was trembling. All the sisters spoke up together. Dad, Yuo cannot sleep on a strange bed. Dad, you cannot do this. He has had that room for more than 10 years. President Zhang Shanwei angrily rubbed his temples and ended the matter. Enough. This is the final decision. Shayan has just returned. He needs time to adjust. You sisters will have to compromise more. Yuo, behave according to your age. Zhang Yunuo lowered his head, hiding the hatred filling his eyes, his nails dug into his palms. His voice came out choked, but obedient. Yes, Dad, I understand. If he wants it, he can take it. I laughed internally. Nothing showed on my face. I did what I came to do. Took the room, set the mood. There was no need to push more right now. I looked towards Zhang Shanyi and moved to the next issue. Mr. Zhang, now that the room is mine, everything kept in it should also return to its rightful owner, right? That old furniture, those old clothes, all of this does not suit the eldest son of the Zhang family, right? Think how it will look. Zhang Shanyue just wanted to stop me. He waved his hand. Tomorrow, your mother will take you shopping. Change everything. My son uses only the best things. Su Yewa felt pain. That furniture was imported, very expensive, and he was changing it with a wave of a hand. But looking at Zhang Shanyu's face, she had no choice but to suppress her resentment. This move was mine, and I was far ahead. That night, I lay on that soft, large bed that once belonged to Zhang Inuo. I could still feel his scent on the sheets. It made my stomach churn, no matter. Soon, this place will be completely mine, and tomorrow, a new game awaited them all. I slept soundly. No dreams came. The next morning, I came downstairs, feeling completely fresh and agile. The dining room looked like a family photo. Zhang Shanyi was sitting at the head of the table reading the newspaper. Su Yowa was lovingly placing a crystal shrimp dumpling into Zhang Yunwo's bowl. The sisters were talking and laughing around the table. Zhang Yanwo wore a soft, completely perfect smile as if nothing had happened yesterday. As soon as I appeared, the laughter stopped. Tension rose in the air. Zhang Yanwo put his chopsticks down and in a flash gave a glowing smile. Good morning, come eat, he called out towards the kitchen. Aunt Chan set another cutlery set. He has come for breakfast. As always, completely caring. As always, completely loved. I glanced at the table. There was absolutely no place for me. In my past life, I would have stood there awkwardly, waiting for the servant to make space for me, like a beggar who has come to someone else's feast, feeling awkwardly insulted. And then, as soon as I would go to sit, sit. One of the sisters would quietly pull the chair away, drop me to the ground, and make a mockery of the table. Instead, I walked straight over there. Every eye in the room grew wide. I grabbed Jang Yunuo by his collar and pulled him up from his chair. He didn't get time to react. A surprised scream escaped his mouth. Fengshan, what are you doing? Leave him, the sisters spoke in unison. Everyone stood up in an instant. I ignored them and pushed Jang Yunwo back slightly, not so hard that he would fall, but enough that he stumbled back several steps. Then I comfortably sat on the chair he had just vacated. I picked up the chopsticks he was using, wrinkled my nose, and threw them aside. When there's no space at the table, the extra person should have the sense to stand. I picked up a clean pair of chopsticks. My voice was completely clear, as if I were saying something so obvious it didn't need explaining. I looked towards Yang Shanwei, whose face had turned brown as iron, and gave a slight smile. Am I wrong, Mr. Jang? Who is the extra person in this family? I said those last words with special emphasis. My gaze went straight towards Zhang Yanuo, whose face had turned white as paper. The extra person was exactly this fake little master. Zhang Yanuo's fists clenched tightly. His whole body was trembling slightly. Insult and hatred were threatening to swallow him completely. Before Zhang Shu could say anything, the sisters burst out. Feng Shivan, why are you making Yo's life difficult at every turn? Zhang Wangxia's face turned pale with anger. Dad, look at him. This is the one you brought back to our house. Not a shred of gratitude, and he is just bringing troubles upon Yuo. Zhang Shanyo slammed the newspaper onto the table. I am saying this once more. Fangxian is my son, your own brother. He looked at the boy he had loved since childhood. He stood there wounded and helpless, and something pained inside him. But as soon as the capital's Tang family came to his mind, that pain was crushed under the weight of his ambition. He cast a cold glance at Su Yuewa. What kind of mother are you? You couldn't even set a place for him. Can't you see when the servants are not doing their job? Su Yuewa's chest was burning with resentment. It was just one place. Was all of this worth it? But seeing Zhang Shanwei's angry face, she swallowed everything. Zhang Shanwei looked towards Zhang Wangxia, whose face was still tight with anger. Wangxia, you are the eldest. Behave like it. Fang Shivan is your own brother. From now on, think before you speak. After Zhang Shanyu's anger, complete silence fell over the dining room. Zhang Yanyo stood frozen. A chill was rising straight from the soles of his feet to his head, spreading through his every part. Zhang Shanyu's open partiality chilled him to the bone. Those words, your own brother, pierced like a sword. Had everything just come down to blood? 18 years of love, and it shattered so easily. He couldn't hold back anymore. Bursting into tears, he turned to run upstairs. Stop! I stopped him. The game had only just begun. The hero couldn't leave just yet. I looked towards Zhang Shanyu, showing a slight curiosity on my face. Dad, now that I am back, shouldn't we hold a homecoming banquet to let everyone know that Zhang Shanyue's biological son has returned? I put great emphasis on biological son for what was to come. I didn't mind calling him Dad right now. A single sentence and every face in the room changed again. Every eye automatically moved towards Zhang Inuo. Zhang Inuo stood with his head bowed, lips tight. The hatred inside him was growing like a poisonous and wild thing. But he couldn't let it out. He had to endure it. He tried to maintain his facial expression, then slowly raised his head and gave a faint, weak smile. Dad, he is right. Now that he is back, absolutely we should hold a homecoming banquet. This is the only way he will know how much this family values him. I turned towards him. There was open, naked provocation in my eyes. And while we are doing this, we should also let everyone know Zhang Inuo's status as the adopted son. The challenge in my eyes was very open. Zhang Inuo was barely managing to control himself. He forced the corners of his lips into a smile. His eyes turned red. You don't seem to like me very much, he said softly. If you are still angry about yesterday, then I am sorry. With a clever move, he immediately changed the topic and did not fall into my trap. He just had to look that wounded, and his sisters would attack on his behalf. And as expected, Zhang Wangxia Wangxia was the first to flare up in anger. Do you have to be this heartless? Zhang Wangxia glared at me. Can you think about You's feelings for even a second? We don't care about blood relations. He will always be our brother. I gave her nothing. Why should I care about his feelings? Because of me, he spent 18 years in luxury that he never earned. Shouldn't he be kneeling down to thank me? And you, Zhang Wangxia, when you do something, can you stop making everything about Yang Inuo's feelings? Dad himself said, I am your real brother. Being heartless goes both ways. I looked towards Zhang Shanyu. His face was filled with anger. If I cannot come back into this family as the eldest son of the Jang family, then this relationship has no meaning. My point was clear. I am not asking you to send Zhang Yinuo away. That is my biggest concession. After all, if he leaves, who will I play with? Everyone else looked towards Zhang Shanyu. Dad, this will ruin you. Dad, we can tell people that they both are biological. We can say that mom gave birth to twins back then. I stood up. My resentment was barely hidden. Biological is biological. Adopted is adopted. You cannot blur that line. Twins? Is he even worth that? The capital's Tang family came to his mind, and Zhang Shanyu agreed again. Fangxian is the real eldest son of the Zhang family. The homecoming banquet will happen according to plan. At that time, Fangxian's identity will be made public, and You's status as the adopted son too. His voice carried the firm tone of a man who could not be argued with. I looked straight at Zhang Guo. Every part of me was provoking him. This time, Yang Inuo truly couldn't control himself. He ran upstairs in tears. The sisters immediately moved to go after him. Sit down and eat, all of you. Zhang slammed his hand on the table. The sisters were desperate to go to him, but they had no other choice. They sat back in their chairs in anger. The glances they threw at me could strip flesh from bones. Despite all this, a slight smile remained on my face. Behind my eyes lay deep hatred. Zhang Shanyu saw all this. In my past life, I wanted belonging. I was ashamed of myself. So I endured everything and kept everyone happy and never fought for my rights because I remained silent. Zhang Shanyu closed his eyes, and I paid the price of that silence with years of grief and insult. The title of the eldest son was nothing to me, but it was everything to Zhang Inuo. That was the reason I couldn't let him keep it. Zhang Shanyu did not want to break Zhang Inuo's heart, but he couldn't miss the chance to connect with the Tang family either, which I represented. He did not think for a second and agreed to the homecoming banquet. The atmosphere at the table was suffocating. The sisters had no appetite. They were just waiting for breakfast to end so they could comfort their beloved brother. On the second floor in the corner, Zhang Nu heard that Zhang Shanwei had agreed to my demand. In an instant, his eyes filled with hatred, his hands clenched into fists. All those promises that sounded so good. He will never be allowed to climb over me. I will always remain the young master of the Yang family. It was decided that when he returned, he would be the adopted son. And yet in less than a day, he lost his room, lost the title of the eldest son, and now he had no home and family left to call his own. I was in a good mood and took a little more food. Then I extended my hand towards Su Weiwa, smiling happily. Mom, I need money. I am going to buy clothes. Su Weiwa's brow furrowed. She always hated me, and now I was making it worse. But because of Zhang Shanyu sitting there, she had no room to show anger. She said carefully, Feng Shivan, there are already very good clothes in your room. I interrupted her in the middle. Do you want me to wear the discarded clothes of an adopted son? Am I, the eldest son of the Jang family, not entitled to new clothes? I was not like my past life, who would walk blindly through everything, who would bear every insult without saying anything. In this life, I will not tolerate a single insult. The only one causing grief to others is me. Zhang Shanwei saw Siyewa stalling. He was clearly getting angry. Senseless woman. I have already told you who he is connected to. If we connect with the capital's Tang family, the Zhang family will not remain just a name in City A. We will become big people in the capital ourselves. He cleared his throat and spoke in a voice that was more a command than a suggestion. Fang Shan is the son of this family. My son will absolutely not wear those old clothes. He did not grow up with us. We have to make up for his absence. Take him shopping after breakfast. Get him everything from the new season, top brands, shoes, watches, bags, the whole set. Don't embarrass us. The Jang family had money, but Zhang Shanwei was not usually a man to spend so open-handedly. It was only because of the Tang connection that I brought. To earn money, you have to spend money. The matter had come to this. Therefore, Suyewa had no choice but to agree and no room to keep her resentment. Upstairs, Zhang Yanluo watched all this happening, and something broke inside him. Just this morning, she was talking about taking him out to make him happy. Now, she was going to buy someone else's clothes. What did that make him? 18 years of love reduced by a drop of blood. Living there all those years was just a joke. The sisters looked at me with quiet, resentful eyes. Zhang Yanluo was going to be very sad hearing this. When Zhang Shanwei finished his talk, he looked at me, and the picture of a large pile of money seemed to beckon him from behind his head. His face turned clearly happy. Pang Sivan, if you need anything, come to me. I am with you. Do plenty of shopping today. Tomorrow, go with your mother to take admission in Shajin High School. I have overseen everything. Don't worry about it. It is just a formality. The college entrance exam is just a ritual. Your future is already set. That name made the corners of my lips turn up slightly and brought a cold gleam to my eyes. My past life memories of that school were very deep. We were going in Su Yuewa's luxury car. The atmosphere was suffocating. Zhang Nuo had also come along, under the pretext of helping me choose. He spent the whole ride holding hands with Suyewa, refreshing childhood memories. The two of them were laughing happily together. It was a deliberate drama of showing closeness so that I would feel like an outsider. In my past life, perhaps this would have stung me. Perhaps I would have felt jealous. Now, it just felt like two flies buzzing in my ear, annoying and nothing more. Zhang Nuo saw my blank face and couldn't help himself. Why don't you share some of your childhood memories? We would all love to hear. I turned and gave him a cold look. What exactly do you want to hear? How I starved and wore torn clothes and rolled in the mud? Or how, while you were living here in luxury, I was suffering outside in your place? My words were direct and ruthless. The smile froze on Zhang Nuo's face. I didn't mean that. I'm sorry. His eyes turned red. He waved his hands quickly, the picture of a greatly misunderstood innocent. Pang Shan! Su Yewa immediately jumped to his defense. Yo means well. Can you stop behaving like you have thorns all over? Mind your tongue. My existence itself is a sin. Haven't you heard? I let out a cold laugh. Would you prefer I take that anger out on you? A mother who lost her biological son, safely protecting an adopted child every day without any regret, while causing pain to her own. What a fine mother you are. There was taunting in my voice. They say in history, wives have been abandoned for concubines. Now we have a biological son abandoned for an adopted one. Madam Su, you are truly unique. Su Yuewa's face turned red. Her throat filled with anger. Words came up to her mouth, then she slammed on the brakes. She couldn't say the one thing she wanted to say most, that I was not her biological son. If I ever found out that I was not of Yang family blood, Zhang would never forgive her. I looked into her eyes, leaning forward. If there is something to say, say it. Looking at her expression, as if she had swallowed something filthy, my mood improved considerably. It was about to get even worse for her. She should stay comfortable. The rest of the journey passed in peace. Just that Zhang Yinyo tried to talk in between, which I completely ignored. We reached City A's biggest shopping center. I wasted absolutely no time. I went straight towards the luxury brands. Su Yuewa was walking behind me. Every time the card swiped, her hand would tremble. Her face was becoming angrier by the minute. Zhang Jinuo was broken inside. Jealousy was eating him up from the inside. Such unlimited shopping where you could take whatever you wanted, he had never done in his life. Whenever he shopped, he always had to watch the mood of Suyewa and the sisters. He always had to look sensible and low spending. This couldn't go on. He had to do something. He took a soft breath, gave a slight smile, and turned towards Suyewa. Mom, after walking so much, you must be tired. Let's sit somewhere and rest. Su Weiwa was already troubled over the rising bill. She grabbed this suggestion like a support, but I spoke first. I looked at Jang angrily. No one asked you to come? If you are already tired, go home. Don't ruin the mood. Jang immediately panicked. His eyes turned red. I didn't mean that. I was just worried for Mom. Just stop it. Suyewa's anger flared up again. Thanks you. Yo is saying a good thing, and you have already bought quite enough. Know when to stop too. I smiled and raised the black card that Jang Shanyu had given. Let it gleam in the light. I am the eldest son of the Jang family. Why should I stop? You have given me 18 years. A few, the same trick again. The faces of both Suyewa and Jang Yanuo immediately filled with anger. This was a direct threat, and they both knew it. Obviously, Suyewa couldn't leave me here alone. She bit her lips, forced herself to walk beside me. Her face was like the sky before a storm. We entered a large store of a top brand. I tried on clothes as if I were the only person in that room. Suyewa saw Jang Yunuo's sad mood. She had raised him for 18 years. She couldn't help herself. She gave him a slight nudge and whispered, you know, I would like to pick a few things for you. Jang Nuo refused a few times for show, then quietly followed her to go shopping. His mood had clearly improved. He came out in a new white shirt, turned in front of the mirror and smiled. Mom, does this look good? Jang Yanuo liked the color white very much. In the shirt, he looked more delicate and gentle than before. Very beautiful. Our Yinyo looks good in everything. Suyewa smiled happily. I let out a laugh at the right time and came out of my fitting room. I wore a sharp-cut black biker jacket. Underneath it was a deep red shirt. This combination was very striking and commanding. A presence that filled the whole room. There is a mirror right there. Don't you know what you see? I looked Jang Inuo up and down. There was no mercy in my voice. Look at your body. Shoulders are too narrow. Height is too short. In that white shirt, you look like a child who has sneaked into his father's wardrobe. Jang Nuo's face turned from white to red in an instant. He was trembling with shame. Why are you insulting me like this? His voice broke with crying. Is speaking the truth an insult now? I went up to him, grabbed his shoulder, and stood him in front of the full-length mirror. I pointed towards my reflection and his. One, delicate but a bit weak. The other, sharp-faced, tall, completely commanding. The difference was clear. See for yourself. Did I say anything wrong? I let him go and gave a firm pat on his shoulder. Not light. Some things cannot be forced, little brother, like presents. Jango was so angry he was about to faint. Su Yuewa pulled Jango behind her and pointed a finger at me. Fang Xuan, where are your manners? I let out a cold and sharp laugh and matched her voice. Manners? You will talk to me about manners? In the past 18 years, did you raise me? Did you teach me anything? If anyone in this world has the right to talk to me about manners, you are the one person who does not have that right. Su Yuewa fell silent again. Yuo, why are you crying? A slightly sharp girl's voice cut through the moment. I looked up. 3 stylishly dressed girls who thought highly of themselves walked in. Fang Aria, Bai Qingxi, and Situ Nana. These 3 were Zhang Yinuo's classmates and his admirers. All were from good family. In my past life, they had helped him insult and break me many times. Of all people, it had to be them. The 3 of them quickly moved forward, greeted Sayewa for a moment. Then Feng Aria worriedly grabbed Jang Yanua's hand. Yua, who troubled you? Did he do this? Her gaze fell upon me without any warmth. Jango shook his head and gave a smile worse than crying. Oh no, no one hurt me. I just wasn't paying attention. She wasn't buying it. Bai Qingxi's personality was sharp and aggressive. Her mother had made a place in a family through an affair, and Bai Qingxi had learned every trick of those ruthless moves. She stepped forward and looked at me, openly mocking. What kind of world are we living in? An adopted child is bullying the real young master. Absolutely shameful. Situ Nana taunted in a sweet voice. Because there are many shameless people who don't understand the situation or don't know their place. The 3 of them began to laugh. The anger in their eyes was clearly visible. Jang Yinu was happy inside, but he acted as if he wanted to calm the situation, pushing them towards the exit. Arya, please just go. Okay, I am requesting you. His pleading convinced them even more that he was being wrong. They were very angry on his behalf. He wanted a clean exit. I had other plans. I went to the door door and blocked their path. What's the rush? These are my brother's friends. His elder brother should meet them. My voice was lazy and slightly amused. Feng Arya and the others already had a problem with me. Seeing me block the door made their anger rise even more. Bai Qingxi taunted, "A rustic from a village came out of nowhere. You think you are worthy of knowing us? Ask yourself." Feng Arya was even prouder. "No need for introductions. Just remember who you are, and remember who the real young master of the Yang family is. An adopted son shouldn't reach for things that were never his." She stepped forward, trying to look me eye to eye, but our height difference diminished her authority. "We are Yuo's friends," Situ Nana said, straightening her shoulders. "We won't remain silent when someone like you does bad to him. We are with him." Zhang Ginuo looked as if he were standing on a hot stove. I stopped wasting words on them. My gaze went to Zhang Inuo, and I made sure every person in the room heard what was coming next. "Zhang Inuo, as an adopted son, take your friend's advice to heart. An adopted son shouldn't reach for things that were never his. Remember who the real eldest son of the Zhang family is." Those words struck like lightning. Zhang Nuo's face turned white. Feng Arya and the others stood open-mouthed. "Fang Shivan!" Suyewa screamed, barely containing herself. Zhang Guo could barely remain standing. I savored their expressions. Then I pulled out my phone, dialed Zhang Shui, and put it on speaker. "Papa," I infused a bit of pain and anger into my voice. "Did you hear what was just said? Your daughters, your wife, and now your adopted son's friends, none of them know who I am. They all revolve around Zhang Nuo at every turn. I cannot stay in this family for a single second." I said what I had to say and cut the call. Zhang Shanyue's call immediately came to Suyua's phone. Even through the speaker, his roar was audible throughout the room. In the end, on Zhang Shanyue's direct orders, Suyuewa and Zhang Yanuo were forced to apologize to me in front of Feng Arya and her friends, and my position as the eldest young master of the Zhang family had to be reconfirmed. Those three girls were turning now pale, now red, and there was something new in the way they looked at Yang Inuo, something tangled and examining. Zhang Nuo felt an insult like he had never known before. The image he had carefully built for years, I had shattered it into pieces today. I watched all this with satisfaction. I picked up the things of my choice, told the store assistant to deliver everything to the Yang residence, and walked out without looking back, through the angry, shocked, and uncomprehending faces. Outside the mall, a gleaming black car was parked at the curb, simple but clearly commanding. The window rolled down to reveal a very beautiful face that also had a bit of wildness. My best friend, and the only person who knew the truth of my rebirth, Shan Wenqing. She curled her lips into a smile. "Shan, come inside. I have something worth seeing." I opened the door and sat inside. The car smoothly moved forward. From the window, I could see Zhang, Jinuo, Suyuewa, and the whole group. Pang Arya and her friends were also standing outside the mall entrance. Their faces were gloomy, and then several people emerged like ghosts from the crowd. They held something in their hands, and before anyone could react, they threw that thing straight at the group. Sharp, terrifying screams echoed in the air above the shopping area. A stench began to spread that cannot be described. It was sewage water. Zhang Inuo, Su Yuewa, Feng Arya, Bai Qingxi, Sitna, and Zhang Wangji, and Zhang Meiling, who arrived a little later. None of them escaped, drenched from head to toe. Filth clung to their hair, faces, and their expensive clothes. Chaos broke out in the crowd around them. People started running here and there and pulling out phones everywhere. Inside the car, Shen Wenqing handed me a cup of milk tea, smiling like a fox. "So, happy with your welcome home gift?" I saw the scene outside. Chaotic, foul-smelling, completely insulting, and a cold, very satisfying smile appeared on the corners of my lips. "Very well done. This is just the beginning. Zhang, Inwo, my beloved sisters, whatever you have given me, I will take it all back, with interest. See you tomorrow at Qingguan High School." The car was running smoothly on the way to the Jang residence. Shen Wenqing handed me a warm cup of milk tea, her own homemade kind, which was always perfect. She was very good to me. Everything has been set on the campus forum and some local hotspot forums, high definition, uncensored, multi-angle close-ups. I took a sip of the milk tea, sweet and smooth. It washed away the last troubles of the afternoon. Efficient as always. With people like them, this is absolutely the right way. Shen Wenqing lazily leaned back in her seat, but her eyes were as sharp as before. Let them find out what public humiliation feels like. I turned towards the window, watched the streets blur. My gaze was cold. In my past life, Jang Ininwo and his small group of admirers, along with my beloved sisters, they had spread lies about me on the campus forum and every social platform. Until my reputation was ruined, in this life, I am just giving them a taste of their own medicine. When I reached the Jang family home, it was already 10 o'clock at night. As soon as I entered, I saw Jang Shanyu on the living room sofa. His face was not happy at all. Su Yuehua, Jang Inuo, and the sisters were nowhere to be seen, probably scrubbing themselves furiously in their showers in their rooms. Such a stench does not go away quickly. So you do know how to come home. Zhang Shanyu looked up upon seeing me, clearly relieved, but there was a distinct scolding in his voice. Why wasn't your phone connecting? And skipping dinner? What kind of behavior is this? I pulled out my phone and tapped on the screen. Blackout, battery died, I said without much interest. Then intentionally sniffed the air and frowned. What is this smell? Something is wrong here. I looked around the empty living room as if something had just dawned on me. Ah, okay, Papa. Did you have dinner with them tonight? Jang blinked. Yes, I did. Why? I immediately made an expression of deep admiration and slight disgust. Gave him a thumbs up. Tremendous, Papa. I really respect you. Eating with them with that stench. Just thinking about it turns my stomach. Zhang Shanyue's expression turned strange. His throat moved involuntarily. He hadn't noticed anything during dinner. Now that I mentioned it, something went wrong in his stomach. What are you talking about? He said angrily. Nonsense. I raised an eyebrow and held up my dead phone. Useless as a device. But it didn't stop me from pointing things out. Papa, haven't you seen what's going on the internet? High-definition footage, close-up photos, Jang Inuo, Su Yehua, my beloved sisters, and Feng Aria's little group, all bathing in sewage water right outside the shopping center in the middle of the city. Comments are saying they can smell the stench even from their screens. I made a sound with my tongue twice and struck straight at their weakness. Jang Nuo always thought of himself as a gentle gentleman, the heartthrob of the campus. Well, overnight he has turned from a heartthrob to a sewage prince, and Feng Aria and the others who always looked down on everyone. Now they have become the laughingstock of the whole city. I would love to see how they show their faces at school tomorrow. Every word felt like a poisoned sword, piercing into Jang Inuo and the others who were hiding nearby, listening, and draining the color from Jang Shanyue's face. This affected the Jang family's reputation. Just stop it. There was a warning in Jang Shanyue's voice. He angrily rubbed his temples. I will handle it. Stop provoking them from now on. I provoked them? I let out a short taunting laugh. Papa, you are understanding it backwards. They were the ones barking at me like mad dogs. I just went shopping today, minding my own business, whatever. Fell on them. They did it to themselves. What does it have to do with me? I had no interest in arguing further. I turned and went upstairs. At the corner of the second floor landing, I ran straight into Jang Nuo, just out of the shower, water dripping from his hair. His face was pale, his eyes were red and swollen. As soon as he saw me, his body stiffened. A flash of barely hidden hatred appeared in his eyes. Hey, he called out in a low, dry voice. I covered my nose and took 2 steps back. My face was full of disgust. Stay away from me. How many times have you bathed and you still smell like this? Has it seeped into your skin? Jang Nuo's face immediately turned red. His whole body was trembling with shame. He looked as though he would grind his teeth into dust. Pangshan, you have crossed the limit. An angry scream came from nearby. My beloved eldest sister, Zhang Wangxia. She too had clearly just bathed. Her face was ugly beyond words. She pointed a finger at me. Was it you? Did you do this? As soon as you left, everything went wrong. It must be you, you jinx. I spread both hands in complete innocence. Zhang Wangshai, before making accusations, one needs proof. Feng Aria is the deputy mayor's daughter. In such a big incident, the police will also be involved. Do you have any proof that I was behind this? Wait for the official report. Really, I think you all have offended people with that sharp tongue of yours for a long time. This is called karma. You, Zhang Wangsha, fell silent, just glaring at me with a poisonous gaze. Stop it, all of you. Not another word. Zhang Shanyue's voice came from below. Haven't you made enough of a mess for one day? Zhang Wangxia stomped her foot in anger, grabbed the crying Zhang Nuo, and went into her room. I watched their backs disappear and let out a cold laugh. We had only just begun. The next morning when I came down, the atmosphere in the dining room was even more tense than the previous day. Zhang Shanui was gone. Probably went to the office early in the morning. Su Yuewa, Zhang Inuo, and the sisters were sitting around the table. Everyone looked exhausted. Deep, dark circles under the eyes. None of them had slept well. As soon as I appeared, it felt as if someone had muted the whole room. Even the clinking of utensils grew faint. Zhang Inuo automatically pulled his neck in, refused to meet my eyes. I went straight to his usual seat and sat down. A servant quickly brought fresh utensils. Clearly nervous, no one said a word. Power is the only thing that earns respect. I ate comfortably. My gaze drifted over Zhang Inuo's pale, delicate face. Zhang Inuo, Zhang Yutong, are you going to school today? Both of them stiffened in the same instant. You must have seen the campus forum. I made no attempt to hide my joy. You are celebrities now. The Sewage Prince and Sewage Princess. If I were in your place, I wouldn't dare show my face anywhere. Zhang Nuo bit his lips so hard that blood was about to come out. Zhang Yutong raised her head and glared, opening her mouth as I kept speaking. Especially you, Zhang Nuo. That campus heartthrob title of yours is gone forever. You'll probably need a gas mask every time you step out so people don't recognize you. You've become very famous now. Feng Shivan, Zhang Yutong finally snapped. She slammed her hand on the table and stood up. Are you done? If it weren't for you, Inuo would never ever be like this. I stopped her in the middle. My gaze turned cold in an instant. Zhang Yutong, did the sewage water ruin your brain? Did I tell him to stand there and let people throw things at him? You guys make a mess and then blame me. Do you all think I am so easy that anyone can push me around? I put my chopsticks down and stood up. My physical presence made Zhang Yutong take half a step back without thinking. Let me make this clear. My gaze slowly swept over everyone sitting at the table, including the pale-faced Suyewa. I am not here to take trouble from any of you. When I had no family and no one to answer to, no one dared to trouble me. So now that I have found a home, why should I tolerate it? What is the use of such a home? My voice was not loud, but it carried a sharp, piercing chill. It felt as though the room's temperature had dropped several degrees. Whoever makes my life difficult, I will make their life difficult for the rest of their life. If anyone doubts it, try it and see. I pushed the chair back and walked out. Butler Chan, keep the car ready. We are going to school. Butler Cha immediately bowed. Yes, young master. Behind me, the dining room had fallen completely silent. Zhang Nuo was glaring at my retreating back. The venom in his eyes was almost tangible. Just wait, Fanzuan. Let's see how arrogant you remain when we are at school. Xingchen High School, the best private high school in the city, where the sons and daughters of almost every powerful family in the city studied. The black car stopped at the school gate. I stepped out, bag slung in one hand. The new school uniform looked somehow wild and commanding on me, in a way that set me apart from every new or pampered student around. As soon as I arrived, everyone's eyes fell upon me. Who is that new student? He looks good and has a presence too. Which class is he in? Haven't seen him before. A transfer? At the same time, there was a more worried and examining look in many other eyes, and whispers began. Did you see the campus forum? Oh my god, speak softly among them about Zhang Inuo. This is the real Jang Heir, who has just been brought back. Fangshan, this is him. This looks like trouble. Zhang Inuo really picked the wrong fight this time. I heard what happened at the mall yesterday. This boy might be behind it all. My hearing was sharp. Every word was reaching me. The corner of my lips turned up slightly. Shen wanking never disappoints. The campus forum was already hot. Hey! A voice came from beside me, showing a warmth that meant nothing. I didn't need to turn around. Zhang Nuo and Zhang Yutong had arrived. Jang Nuo wore a light smile as if nothing had happened yesterday and this morning. Jang Yutong was walking beside him, looking at me as if I were her sworn enemy. Let's go inside. I will take you to the admin office to register. Jang Nuo stepped forward and reached out to grab my hand. I stepped aside. No need. I know where it is. His hand froze in midair. The smile on his face didn't change, but something dark flashed behind his eyes. The crowd around us was watching even more closely now. Jang Yutong couldn't contain herself. She let out a sharp voice in anger. Fengshan, don't be ungrateful. Yanhua is behaving well with you. Yutong, Zhang Yanhua quickly pulled her back, shaking his head to stop her. Then he gave me an apologetic smile. We will go ahead. Then I watched their retreating figures showing closeness and let out a cold laugh. Let's see how long you can keep up this drama. Following the directions I was given, I walked towards the admin office. The teacher who received me was a middle-aged woman. In gold-rimmed glasses, she looked as though she had been born with an angry expression. She pushed her glasses up and looked at me. There was an arrogance in her gaze, as if looking down from a great height. She had clearly heard about me, or Jang Nuo had reached her first. So you are Fengshan. Her voice was sharp. Your enrollment file has been transferred. You are in Year 3, Class 1, our top academic class. I expect you to follow the rules and not drag the class down. She deliberately emphasized top class and dragged it down. The message was quite clear. Someone like me from a village didn't belong there. I said nothing. I just kept watching her peacefully. My gaze unsettled her. She cleared her throat and pushed a timetable forward. This is your class schedule. Your homeroom teacher is Teacher Heat. The office is on the second floor. You may go. I took the timetable and turned to leave. At the door, I paused and looked back. Teacher Jang, there's something stuck in your teeth. Teacher Jang stiffened. Her hand went up to cover her mouth. Her face turned red. I curled the corner of my lips into a smile and walked out. I had just reached the bottom of the main building when someone blocked my path. 3 tall boys in basketball jerseys. The one in front had a basketball and an angry face. The captain of the school basketball team and one of Feng Aria's most loyal lackeys. His name was Chalet. Hey, you are Fang Shunan. Shelly folded his arms and stood in front of me. The 2 behind him looked equally unfriendly. I raised an eyebrow. Want something? Heard your attitude is quite something. Back on the very first day and already after Jangno, Chele came closer, trying to use his height to apply pressure. Unfortunately, he was slightly shorter than me. And what happened with Feng Aria and the others? I am warning you. Stay away from Jangino and Feng Aria. Otherwise, you will regret it. I smiled. A smile that held equal parts anger and mockery. I will regret it? I took a step forward until we were almost nose to nose. My eyes were like swords. Shelly was rattled by my presence. He took half a step back without thinking, and then shame turned into anger. Don't get too happy. He hadn't even finished the sentence when I moved. The finger he was pointing at me with, I grabbed it and twisted it back sharply. A crack sounded, the kind that makes teeth ache. Chelly let out a squeal like a trapped pig and doubled over in pain. His 2 companions turned pale and started to move forward. I let go of Chele's finger while he was still in pain and hadn't recovered. I landed a kick to his stomach. Chele's nearly 2-meter body flew through the air, fell into the flower bed behind him, and curled up like a ball, groaning in pain. The other 2 froze right there, staring at me in fear, not moving now. I dusted my hands. Nothing was on them, and looked at those 2. Anyone else? They vigorously shook their heads and said nothing. The students gathered around were shocked and silent. The look they gave me held wonderful respect and fear. This boy is brutal. He took down Shile without blinking. I paid them no further attention and walked straight towards the Year 3 building. I had just reached the classroom door when I heard a voice inside, and a familiar voice at that. Jang Wenxia. She was the physics teacher of Year 3, Class 1. Some students think having connections gives them the right to do whatever they want. This is a place of learning, not for showing off. And whatever filth is out on the road, leave it there. Every word was targeted. Her sharp gaze fell straight upon me as I entered through the door. Every eye in the classroom turned to me, curious, shocked, happy, and one pair, exactly like Zhang Yinuo's with a slight gleam of satisfaction. I met Zhang Wangxia's cold gaze without any nervousness. If anything, there was a slight smile on my lips. Zhang Wangxia, is this really your first move? How boring. Beloved sister, let our game begin right here in this classroom. Year 3 Class 1, the flagship science class of Qingchen High School, home to the best academic minds of the year and the biggest families in the city. I stood at the door, facing Zhang Wangxia's cold look and the classroom's many different looks, and for a moment it felt as if my past life had returned. The transfer student who walked quietly through everything and was shut out at every turn. But this time was different. Reporting in, my voice was clear, showing nothing. Zhang Wangxia adjusted her glasses. Behind the lenses, her gaze was sharp as a sword. She didn't let me come inside. Instead, she said coldly, "Student Fengxian, late on his very first day. Is this how you conduct your studies?" I looked at my watch. My voice remained easy. "Teacher Yang, there's still 1 minute before the bell rings. If this is considered late, then at least half the students in that classroom are also late." A few suppressed laughs came from inside the classroom. Zhang Wangxia's expression turned angry. She hadn't expected me to answer back in front of everyone. Sharp tongue. "Even if you are not late, coming this close shows a careless attitude. A top class has its standards, different from the places you came from." The discrimination in it was hard to miss. I smiled, though my eyes grew colder. The teachers at my house first taught me to talk about facts, so I assume that a top class makes accusations without any proof. Zhang Wangxia fell silent for a moment. Her chest was heaving. She was furious. She took a deep breath, suppressed her anger, and pointed towards an empty seat next to the trash can in the back row. "Your seat is there. I expect you to behave well and not disturb others." The worst seat in the whole room. I shrugged, indifferent, and walked towards my seat amidst the sympathy and mocking glances from the class. As I passed Zhang Yinuo, he gave me a look, superficially worried, internally a quiet joy of victory. "Don't take it personally," he whispered. "Teacher Jang, she is just strict. It's nothing." I ignored him. When I sat down, the students on both sides automatically moved their chairs away, as if being near me was contagious. Zhang Wangxia began her lesson, electromagnetic induction. The material was truly challenging. She taught clearly and had real ability, but her eyes kept drifting towards me, holding clear examination and anger. This next problem was the final question of last year's physics competition. It has some difficulty. Any volunteer who would like to try it on the board. She wrote a complex problem on the blackboard. The classroom fell silent. It was truly difficult, involving several concepts at once. Zhang Yinuo's brows furrowed slightly. He was solving it. He was the physics representative of the class, always at the top. A few strong physics students were eager to try, still doing their rough calculations. Zhang Wangxia's gaze swept the room and stopped on me. There was a barely visible cold smile on her lips. "Student Feng Shivan, you have just transferred from another area, so your foundation might be a little weak. Still, trying is a good thing. Why don't you come up and show everyone what you can do?" Her voice held provocation and the expectation of seeing someone embarrassed. Every eye in the class was on me again. A gleam of satisfaction appeared in Zhang Yinuo's eyes. He knew how difficult the problem was. Even he would take time to solve it. Someone like Fang Shan, who newly arrived from a village, how could he solve it? Going up would just mean humiliating himself. Everyone thought I would back down or drag myself up there and make a fool of myself. I put my pen down and slowly stood up amidst the expectant gazes of Zhang Wangxia and Zhang Yinuo. Sure, not loud, but it reached every corner of the room. Amidst the shocked gazes of everyone present, I went forward, picked up a chalk, and without any hesitation, started writing on the board. Assume the effective length cutting the magnetic field lines is L with velocity v, applying Faraday's law of electromagnetic induction and keeping in mind the self-inductance of the coil. We use the infinitesimal element method here. My writing was flowing without any hitch. Every step clear, logic absolutely correct, and the method even more elegant than the solution Zhang Wangxia had in mind. The chalk moved with a sharp, rhythmic sound on the board, as if tapping on everyone's chest. The classroom was completely quiet. Only the sound of the chalk remained. The cold smile on Jang Wangxia's face had long since frozen and disappeared. In its place was utter shock. This method was more elegant than the reference solution she knew. How could a troubled transfer student from a village do this? Zhang Yinyo's eyes grew wide, fixed on the blackboard. Every bit of color vanished from his face as if he were seeing a ghost. In less than 3 minutes, I circled the final answer, put the chalk down, dusted my hands, and looked at Zhang Wangxia. Teacher Zhang, I am done. Is this correct? Zhang Wangxia was staring at the completely flawless solution on the board. Her mouth opened and closed. Nothing came out. Someone in the classroom started clapping. No one knew who did it first. Applause began to ring out from here and there, and then it became warm and genuine. These top students could ignore a transfer student, could be happy seeing him fail, but real ability they still recognized and respected. I looked at Zhang Wangxia's iron gray face and Zhang Nuo's blank, absent expression and laughed inside. If you want to humiliate someone, do it in the field where they believe in themselves the most. In my past life, they had ruined me and I had failed the college entrance exam. But in the years after that, I had learned university-level physics on my own. I had even made real progress in some areas of the field. A high school competition problem was nothing. Lucky perhaps, I must have seen something similar before. Zhang Wangxia finally found her voice and composed herself. Sit down, pay attention in class. Don't think too much just from solving one problem. I didn't see the need to reply. I walked back to my seat, without rushing, amidst heavy, tangled gazes in the classroom. For the rest of that lesson, no one looked at me as if I were just a kid from a village. When the bell rang, Zhang Wangxia left the classroom as if she were running away. I had just packed my things and was going out to get some air, when a figure came in front of me, Zhang Yutong, who was in the classroom, right next to Zhang Yunuo's. What did you do with Wangxia? Zhang Yutong asked angrily. She had clearly already heard. What could I do to her? I raised an eyebrow. I answered her question, that's all. Why can't teacher Zhang handle a defeat? Don't tell me all this. You must have played some dirty trick. Zhang Yutong's voice was sharp. I am warning you. Stay away from Wangxia and Yan Yuo. Otherwise, you will regret it. The same line again. My gaze turned cold. I stepped forward towards her. Zhang Yutong, have you forgotten this morning's lesson? Or are you waiting for your turn to be shown your place in public? The physical pressure of my height drained the color from her face. She stepped back automatically, then tried to compose herself in a sharp voice. You wouldn't dare. Try me. My voice was clear and cold. See whether I dare or not. The chill in my eyes stopped her. She bit her lips. This isn't over. She grabbed the worried-looking Zhang Yinyo beside her and walked away quickly. I watched them go. My gaze was incomprehensible. Zhang Yinyo, this is just the beginning. Whatever it is you care about, I will smash it into pieces. Your grades, your reputation, the sister's devotion, I will tear it all apart with my own hands. Part 3 of 3. At lunch, I slipped away from the crowd and went up to the school rooftop. Shen Wanking was already there, holding 2 elegant lunch boxes. Chuan, first blood drawn, she smiled and pushed a box forward. I heard you defeated that female teacher, the Jang one. I took the box and opened it. Inside were my favorite dishes. A small victory. Zhang Wangxia is just the beginning. We stood leaning against the railing eating, overlooking the entire campus below. There's still a lot of talk going on the campus forum. Shan Wenqing said, Zhang Nu and those women haven't been seen in public anywhere today, but behind the scenes, their moves won't stop. I nodded in agreement. Zhang Inuo, his sisters, and Feng Aria's group, none of them will let this go so easily. Oh, right, Shen Wanking remembered something. There's news from Mingda Hall. The Feng family and Situ family are still spending a lot of money to find the Phantom Healer. Situ-ji's offer has now tripled. Situ-ji was Situ Nana's mother. In my past life, she had helped Feng Aria many times in making my life difficult. I remembered she suffered from a rare brain disease. Year after year, it caused her immense pain. I took a sip of water. Tell them that the Phantom Healer is not meeting anyone right now, and send Deputy Mayor Feng our little gift. A little gift? Shen Wanking raised an eyebrow. A detailed file on Deputy Mayor Feng's beloved son, about his high-stakes gambling in overseas casinos and suspicions of money laundering. A cold smile appeared on my lips. Let him also find out what it feels like when your hands are full of fire. Shan Wanking smiled. Understood, consider it done. At that exact moment, my phone vibrated. An encrypted message came through a special channel. I opened it. It was a direct message from the deep web. The sender was Jang Yutong. The message was short, with a clear hint of nervousness and politeness. Dark S, are you there? I have an urgent problem. Something wrong on the homepage of the Shen High School campus forum isn't deleting. It looks like the backend permissions have been tampered with. I've tried everything and failed. If you're free, can you help out? No problem with payment. Reading the message, I could picture Jang Yutong pulling her hair out in front of her screen, completely frantic. The defense and anti-deletion system on the campus forum was set up by me just last night. Jang Yutong's ability to even detect the permission tampering shows some skill, but breaking it? Absolutely not. I casually typed a reply with a price that makes people gasp. It'll be done. 500 crypto, payment first, solution later. The reply came quickly. Shock and trouble in every word. 500 crypto? That is too high an amount. Can it be lowered a bit? I closed the message window. She was in no position to bargain with me. Shen Wanking leaned over to look at the screen. Nobody squeezes them quite like you, Fang Xuan. 500 crypto will completely wipe her out. She brought this on herself. My voice was flat. In my past life, how many times did Jang Yutong use her hacking skills to cover up Jang Inuo's mistakes? I don't even remember. She tampered with my exam scores too. Compared to that, this is nothing. Still, she found you. That means she really has ability. Shen Wenqing placed a finger on her chin. Should we give her something more memorable? I shook my head. Not yet. She is more useful to me, alive and well for now. I need a bait so that whatever deep connections are behind her come to life. Something told me that for Jang Yutong to reach this level of skill at this age, there must be another story behind it. And the deep web is far deeper than people know. All afternoon, Feng Aria and the rest kept whispering. I didn't need to think twice about what they were planning. After school, I noticed that Bai Qingxi was the first to leave the classroom. Feng Aria and the others had no intention of leaving. I knew exactly what that meant. I told Shen Wanking to go to the cafeteria first. She asked no questions. These people were nothing before me, and she knew it. Peng Aria and her group were very happy to see me alone. They were ready to handle both of us, but we had separated, which made things even easier for them. Zhang Yino stepped forward, about to lead me towards the rooftop, when he saw that I was heading that way myself. After what I did to them yesterday, they were desperate to tear me apart. As soon as I reached the rooftop, I saw Bai Qingxi waiting. I spoke first, without any rush. Need to refresh yesterday's memories. Hearing yesterday mentioned, her face distorted with rage. But thinking about what was going to happen to me, her mood improved. So what if you are the real Jianger? You are useless. You will always be our plaything. You will soon find out what happens when you mess with us. After that, Feng Aria and the rest came inside. Apart from Jang Yutong, they had also brought 4 male classmates along. Yang Jinuo locked the rooftop door. His face was full of fury. He made his intention clear. Today, he intended to completely ruin me. Feng Aria signaled those 4 boys to surround me. There wasn't a single trace of nervousness on my face. I looked at this herd of fools who were crossing their limit. Don't waste my time. Come at me all together. Feeling the provocation, Feng Aria's anger flared up. Grab him. Bring him down. Those 4 boys advanced first. I showed no mercy. These 4 had been hanging around Feng Aria and her group for a long time and had caused a lot of harm. I took them down one by one. Feng Aria and the others felt nervousness for the first time. How is he this good? Cheng Yinuo's eyes had already darted towards the door. I had quietly positioned myself right in front of the door. Anyone who wanted to leave had to go through me first. The moment I came to school that morning, I never thought Feng Aria's group would leave this rooftop so easily. Feng Aria and the rest didn't dare to do anything, so I went on the attack. Slap After slap, I knocked them all to the ground and turned around. Jang Yutong was guarding outside. She heard something going wrong and ran to the door, banging on it loudly. "Open up! Open the door!" A smile touched my lips. Came to me on her own. "Let's include her too." I opened the door. Jang Yutong saw everyone lying on the ground, and her anger erupted. "How dare you? Do you know who you are messing with?" I gave her a glance, pulled her inside, and slammed the door shut. Jang Yutong glared at me with pure rage. "Slap!" I slapped her before she could speak another word. "Stop screaming. Nobody except my papa has ever hit me. I will kill you." Jang Yutong placed her hand on her face and screamed. Bai Qingxi and the rest were shocked, looking at Feng Aria's hair, and their faces turned pale with despair. I picked up the electric clippers and shook them lightly. "Don't struggle. This is my first time cutting hair, but I've just learned a bit of technique. I'll try to keep my hands stable." Bai Qingxi began to cry. "Please, not my hair. I am begging you. I will never do this again." "Are you stupid?" My voice was cold and clear. "Would you prefer to eat Feng Aria's hair instead?" That remark immediately stopped the crying. Before their utterly despairing eyes, I cut them one by one with the clippers. I didn't spare Jang Yutong either. When it was done, I pulled out my phone and took photos of them all. Then I went to the sink and washed my hands, talking as I did. "Zhang Guo, didn't I tell you to stay away from me? 2 days have passed, and you still haven't learned. So now you're putting your sisters forward. Whatever happened to them today is all because of you. In my past life, those 4 were completely unified in making my life difficult. Now, I wanted to see if that unity still held." I walked out feeling truly good. Taking revenge really clears the mind. In the cafeteria, Shen Wanking had already filled a tray with things of my choice. I handed her my phone. "See what I was up to." Shen Wanking took the phone and scrolled through the photos. "Tremendous work, Fang Xuan. You are truly ahead of your time, always setting trends." I brought the conversation back to the Mingde Hall matter. We hadn't been talking long when my phone rang. It was a call from Zhang Shanyu. As soon as the call connected, his voice came like lightning. Neither Shen Wanking nor I said a word. At that exact moment, the school intercom turned on. "Year 3, Class 1, Fans Yu, please report to the principal's office immediately." The voice was loud and urgent. Everyone in Feng Aria's group had family connections that couldn't be taken lightly. Now that something had happened to them all together inside the school, Shen Wanking and I acted as though we hadn't heard a thing and calmly kept eating. The intercom turned on again. "Year 3, Class 1, Fengshen. Report to the principal's office immediately." This time louder and more urgent. We finished our food. Only then did we bother to move, walking at our own pace. My phone hadn't stopped vibrating in my pocket. Inside the principal's office, the parents of Peng Aria, Situ Nana, Bai Qingxi, and everyone else had arrived. Zhang Shanwei was also there, surrounded by a wall of angry parents. Principal Lin wiped cold sweat from his forehead. He was clearly frantic. Feng Aria's father, Pengang, slammed his hand on the desk. "Principal Lin, what kind of school are you running? We are waiting to bring a student in, and it's taking this long. Do you know how precious our time is?" Principal Lin gave an apologetic smile. "A teacher has been sent to find him. He will be here shortly." The door of the principal's office was kicked open. Feng Wang was standing closest and didn't get time to move. The door hit him directly. Zhang Shanwei and Principal Lin rushed to pick up Feng Gang. I walked in at total ease and sat straight in the principal's chair. As soon as they saw me, Peng Aria and the rest stepped forward with renewed courage. Their parents were behind them. Everyone had suddenly become very brave. I picked up a teacup from the desk and smashed it onto the ground. Peng Aria and the others saw my smile. It was calm and unsettling, and the earlier fear returned to them. They all turned to their parents and began speaking at once. "Papa, he hit me. Mommy, he hit me. He cut my hair. You cannot let him go like this." Peng Aria's voice was furious. Bai Qingxi made tearful accusations. "Papa, the Jang family has absolutely no respect for us. He cut my hair. He slapped the Situ family in the face." Situ Nana was not left behind either. Zhang Yuo and Zhang Yutong both wanted to add more things, but seeing their father's stern face, they both changed their minds and just hoped this incident would be enough to remove me from the Jang family forever. Bai Qingxi's mother, Bai Li, spoke while barely controlling her anger. Jang Shanyu, the Jang family will have to give an explanation to the Bai family. My daughter has been beaten like this. She wanted to tear me apart. In all her years of hard work, no one had ever dared to hit her daughter in the face like that. If she weren't worried about her image, she would have done it by now. Zhang Shanyu, we want a satisfactory answer. Zhang Shanyu looked at me while barely suppressing his anger, silently wondering what sins he must have committed to suffer so much without gaining a single benefit from me. You kneel down right now and apologize to your classmates. I let out a short laugh and leaned back. Apologize? What a joke. Beside me, Shen Wanqing laughed along too. My gaze swept the room. Zhang Shanyu, before you ask me to apologize, shouldn't you ask me why I went after them in the first place? I paused. Actually, forget it. It seems no reason can justify what happened to these poor classmates. Bai Lili spoke first, her breathing heavy. Do you know how important someone's hair is? At your age, and to be so cruel, why didn't you go to the teacher, to the principal? I smiled at her. The principal is in your pocket. And if going to teachers achieved anything, the classmates they bullied before wouldn't have had to transfer. Situ Ji swept her eyes over Zhang Shanyu and stepped forward. An apology means nothing. What your child did is a direct insult to the Situ family. To be honest, this was just a small incident. These families were just using it to extract something from the Jang family. Zhang Shanwei wanted me to apologize so that everything would be fine between the families. But since I wasn't doing it, he had no option but to swallow his anger and turn to Zhang Yutong to ask what had actually happened. Zhang Yutong and Zhang Yo both looked very uncomfortable, hesitating and buying time. I had no interest in wasting time. They surrounded me on the rooftop and planned to teach me a lesson. In my great mercy, returning good for evil, I helped them with their hair. Liar, you attacked us the moment you saw us. Bai Qingxi stuck to her story. You hit me as soon as you came in. Then Feng Aria and Situ Nana came and you hit them too. You didn't even spare your brother. And then you dragged your sister inside too and hit her and cut all her hair. How can someone be so cruel? Bai Qingxi was sobbing at every word. Bai Li pulled Bai Qingxi into her arms. Look at Fang Xuan, not a scratch on him. Open your eyes. Not just my daughter, Feng Aria too. They are all injured. Zhang Shanyue placed his fingers on his temples. Children fight. It's normal. Let's not let this ruin the relations between our families. He looked at me. Fans Shan, apologize to them. I stood up and met Zhang Shanyu's gaze. Apologize? Not going to happen. If you want this from me, it would be better to break relations. Zhang Nue felt true pain in his chest. He breathed softly. Composing himself, the capital's Tang family stood behind this boy. He couldn't lose his temper. Thanks, Shivan. Can you please just apologize? Why should I? It wasn't my fault. I turned to leave. Bai Li came in front of me. Did I say you could leave? Nothing has been solved. Who gave you permission to go? Principal Lin also stepped forward to block the path. Shen Wenqing stepped forward and with a hard kick, shoved Principal Lin into the doorframe. I took Bai Li's finger into my grip. Did your mother never teach you that pointing fingers is a bad thing? I said, applying pressure. Oh, let me go. I didn't actually intend to get too involved. Zhang Shanwei could handle everything. But Bai Li had come right in front of me herself, and I changed my mind. Isn't it clear enough? You all know very well what your daughters are doing in this school. I am not the first student they have gone after. Do you think if all this comes out, the Bai family's business will escape clean? I turned towards Feng Wang and Situ Ji. Deputy Mayor Feng, are you confident in that seat of yours? My voice was absolutely cold. I decided that now I wanted a real fight. I sat back in the chair and raised a hand. Shen Wenqing pulled out a phone. It contained years of documented evidence of Feng Aria and her group bullying other students. Just a glance was enough to drain the color from Feng Wang and the others' faces. He couldn't understand. He had handled all this himself. How was it possible that someone still had access to it? Bai Li and the rest looked at each other. The same thing was visible on every face. Shock, and suddenly the face turned pale. I could stop this. It had further uses. Deputy Mayor Feng, no need to panic. Today I just want an apology. At those words, Feng Wang immediately pulled his child forward. When Feng Aria and the rest had received pampering all their lives, the idea of apologizing to someone they had bullied was very strange to them all. In the end, Feng Gong forced Feng Aria's head down. The other parents did the same. Seeing Feng Aria and the others insulted gave me real satisfaction. But it wasn't enough. I wanted to see them on their knees. A simple verbal apology meant nothing. In my past life, when they helped Jang trouble me, they had forced me to my knees and made me bow my head. How many times? I don't even remember. I wanted them all to know what it feels like. Just imagining their faces, restless, insulted, filled me with deep satisfaction. Those words fell like a grenade in the room. Not just Feng Aria's group. Feng Gong and the other parents also fell silent. Kneel down and apologize. What a massive insult. Not even in dreams. Feng Aria's eyes turned red with anger. Enough. Don't push this too far, Bai Li said through gritted teeth. Too far? I picked up Shen Wenking's phone and shook it lightly. What your daughters have done is far worse than this. You can refuse. See if you can face what comes next. Bai Li and the rest looked as though they had swallowed something filthy. They couldn't take the risk. Feng Gong and the others looked towards Zhang Shanyue. Zhang Shanyue had no option but to force himself to speak. Feng Shish, do this for me. You came out safe today. Shen Wanking picked up a fruit knife from the principal's desk and said at total ease, if I stab you right now, not fatal, just enough to cripple you, and then give you a slight apology, it's fine, right? After all, you didn't die. Zhang Shu didn't dare to reply. The woman behind me had provoked them many times, and C2G's patience snapped. Young people should think before talking big. This is still City A. Mutually assured destruction won't help anyone on your side. C2G, right? I said calmly. I've heard your family's survival depends on the medicine from Mingda Hall. Without waiting for an answer, Shen Wanking pulled out her phone, dialed Mingda Hall right in front of her and cut off the supply to the C2 family and Feng family. C2G laughed it off. You think Mingda Hall takes orders from people like you? Don't make me laugh. They are one of the biggest names in medicine. Apart from hospitals, Mingda Hall itself is a massive resource hub behind which stands a phantom healer. People with real power go down on their knees at Mingda Hall to get treatment. Some people who tried to show their strength against the law vanished by the next day. You can imagine what that place can do. But as soon as wealth-holding Shen Wanking cut the call, the phones of both C2G and Feng Gong vibrated. A message arrived from Mingda Hall talking about ending their business relationship with both families. Mingda Hall actually listened to her. Feng Wang's eyes grew wide. He couldn't speak a word. Bai Li was shaken for a different reason. The Bai family had been trying to connect with Mingda Hall for years without any success. All the harshness left C2G's voice. This is all a misunderstanding. We will apologize. Shen Wanking looked at them flatly with a cold gaze without rushing. Kneel down, otherwise the existence of the C2 family and Feng family will end. She gave a light, deliberate cough and raised her chin slightly. When a child does wrong, the parents have to take the blame. We are not asking you to kneel. This is already a very big concession. Bai Li grabbed Bai Qingxi by the arm. Kneel down. Apologize. Feng Wang and the rest did the same. Ordered their children to do the same. Feng, Arya, and the rest were absolutely not agreeing. Everyone was resisting very loudly. Bai Li's patience broke. She slapped Bai Qingxi across the face. Kneel down. If you don't kneel today, get out of this family. I don't have a daughter like you. Offending Mingda Hall meant that the Bai family's ambitions in the capital could fall at any moment. Or worse, the Bai family itself could be ruined. Bai Qingxi was shaken, looking at her mother's face. This insult was almost unbearable. But in the end, she fell to her knees out of the sun and said every word slowly and clearly. I am sorry, I was wrong. After that, Feng Arya and the rest, upon receiving their share of pressure, knelt down behind her, apologized through gritted teeth. Sorry. Feng Arya raised her voice on the final word. Are you satisfied now? She started to rise. Who said you can get up the moment those words leave my mouth? Feng Gong stepped forward and pressed Feng Arya back down, glaring at her. We've all knelt. What more do you want? He asked me. I rested my chin on one hand. Everyone isn't here yet. Wait for everyone to arrive. When all the apologies are done, then you can stand. The people who came at me today weren't just this group. Feng Arya's 4 companions hadn't been accounted for yet. I had no intention of letting them off. With no other option, Principal Lin had no choice but to call those 4 students over the intercom. Those 4 boys heard the summons and thought it was just to talk about what happened. After all, Feng Aria's group were the big people in this school. Those four had their story ready. As soon as they entered, they were going to fully detail every accusation against me. But as soon as they entered the principal's office and saw what was inside, they froze. The four of them rubbed their eyes in disbelief. Feng Aria and the rest were actually on their knees before me. Had the world gone mad? How was this possible? Come inside. The four of them, hesitating and trembling, lined up behind Feng Aria's group. Words could barely escape. Principal? I said peacefully. Kneel down and apologize. The sooner this is done, the sooner we all go back to class. Those four obediently fell to their knees, hating every second of it. But if Feng Aria's group had knelt, what choice did they have? Forgive us. Please forgive us. Good. Now let's talk about the consequences. Feng Aria raised her head and looked at me angrily. I reached out and patted her cheek lightly. What? Not happy with this? Did you think a simple apology would settle everything? Zhangguo looked in true pain. He just wanted to know that all this was over. He really hadn't expected someone so powerful to be behind me. Jealousy was eating him up from the inside. With Shen Wanking entering the picture, the chances of removing me from the Jang family were almost gone. But if I stayed, managing his position would become even harder. In the end, those 8 received a serious disciplinary mark on their records. I didn't push for expulsion. The trouble wasn't over yet. Principal Lin let out a long breath. What a narrow escape. At least he wasn't dragged down with them. Then my gaze fell upon him. Feng Aria's group had bullied students in this school for years. Those students had come to this office, and time and again he had protected the bullies. Such a person was not fit to be principal. So will you leave on your own, or shall we show you the way out? Principal Lin stiffened. He looked at Feng Gong, hoping he would do something on his behalf. Feng Gong was not going to offend him for our sake. He stood straight with moral authority and said, I agree. It is time for a change. I will join other parents to report this principal's wrongdoing. Protecting wrongdoers is unforgivable. After that, Shen Wanking and I walked out of the principal's office. Back in the classroom, I logged on to the campus forum and posted Feng Aria and the others' new looks. They were quite famous in school, but I still thoughtfully put their names and class numbers. The campus forum had already been hot for days. As soon as the post uploaded, students tore into it. When they saw Feng Aria and the rest's new hairstyles, many students were quietly happy. These people had ruled over everyone for years, and finally someone had shown them their place. The comments below were unanimous. Karma truly exists. After kneeling and apologizing, Feng Aria and the rest went home, where they received another round of severe scolding. Because of Feng Aria and Situ Nana, Situ Ji had lost access to Mingde Hall's medicine. They were punished almost to the point of being killed. The Feng family and Situ family had reached their current positions because of the marriage alliance between them. If anything happened to Situ Ji, the bond keeping both families together would surely weaken. And then there was Bai Qingxi. The Bai family was trying to enter the capital, and now they had offended Mingde Hall. Even without Mingde Hall actively going against them, that ambition was going to face massive difficulties. Bai Qingxi's father heard what happened and immediately rushed home. He hit her for it. Zhang Tong was also called home. All children were called back except Zhang Meiling, who was out for filming. When Zhang Vanshi and the other sisters came home and saw what had happened to Zhang Yunu and Zhang Yutong's hair, everyone erupted in anger. Who did this? Zhang Yunuo didn't dare speak a word. Without thinking, they all put the blame on me. Who else could it be? That jinx, ever since he came back, not a single peaceful day has been found. Zhang Vanxiao was first, then Zhang Xia. That ungrateful wretch. Shut your mouth, Zhang Shanyue spoke angrily, his eyes fixed on Zhang Yinuo. Zhang Yanuo, can you not go a single day without making trouble? Didn't I tell both of you to leave Fangshun alone? Why doesn't either of you listen? Zhang Shanwei was trembling with rage. Every time they provoked me, every mark of this family rejecting me, all of it was increasing his anger. He couldn't control it anymore. He went up to Zhang Yinuo and struck him across the face. Once, twice. The rest of the Zhang family fell silent. None of them had expected this. Papa, how could you do this to Yuo? The third sister said. Shut your mouth, Zhang Shanyu said. You don't know what happened, so don't stand there talking nonsense. Still full of fury, Jang Shanhui recounted everything that had happened in the afternoon and gave them all another warning. Jang Ginuo, he is your elder brother. Know your place. I am warning you all very strictly. Treat him with manners. If any of you goes after him and makes him your enemy, do not expect mercy from me. Jang Yanuo had never found a time so difficult. Feng Xian seemed to have some connection with Mingde Hall. Jang Shanwei then told the family the whole story. Zhang Sha was a doctor. As soon as the name Mingde Hall was mentioned, her eyes lit up. Every doctor's biggest dream was to work in Mingde Hall's elite hospital and one day meet the Phantom Healer. Her throat went dry. Papa, don't worry. We will treat him properly. We will never make him feel unwelcome again. She wanted a way into Mingde Hall and hoped I could open that door. It would take her career to heights she had never imagined. Zhang Inuo stared at his fourth sister, unable to believe what he was hearing. They had all promised that he would always remain their only brother. They would never accept Feng Xian. How many days had it been? Django felt a cold panic spreading inside him. The thing he feared most was happening. I was going to strip away every precious thing of his one by one. Zhang Vashao saw Zhang Yu's face and gave a light, deliberate cough. Only then did the fourth sister, Zhang Sha, remember that Zhang Yu was in the room. She showed no guilt at all. Instead, she started talking about what had happened. Yo, how could you two do this? Bullying classmates. If all this comes out, the Jang family's name will be ruined. Did you even think about it? But she had grown up with him, and that love showed. Her voice softened in the end. Papa is right. We are all family. You, Shivan, has come home now. Being an elder brother is a good thing. Zhang Yunuo internally retreated. He didn't want a brother. He wanted to be the only son of the Jang family, the only eldest Jang master. But he couldn't say it. He forced the corners of his lips into a smile and said softly, yes. Jangsha said in agreement, so fine, we will listen to Papa. We are a family, and as his sisters, we will behave well with Shun. Zhang Xia was the president of the Jang family's company. Mingde Hall's influence didn't stop just at medicine. It ran very deep in the business world too. If Mingde Hall's support was secured, the Jang family's troubled company could stand tall again, and entering the capital wouldn't remain just a dream, looking smaller and smaller. His fourth sister had just turned against him, and now his second sister was also speaking for me. Zhang Yunuo's panic was real. Every single thing that was his was slipping from his hands one by one. Seeing his two daughters show such sense, Zhang Shanyue's anger began to cool slightly. He looked at Zhang Yanuo beside them and said a few comforting words. Yuo, we have a relationship of more than a decade between us. Don't think too much into this. You will always be our son. Zhang Yanuo nodded and said nothing. Speaking of the homecoming banquet, I want to do it properly. A grand occasion. I want the whole of City A to know that Fang Xian is my son. After all, the relationship between Fang Xian and the Zhang family was currently strained. A grand banquet would help mend it. Yo, your status will also be made public at that same time. Don't worry, the relationship we've built over these years won't end just because there isn't a blood relation. You are still our son. The more Zhang Shanyu spoke, the colder Zhang Inuo felt inside. A grand banquet for Feng Shan. Couldn't they see how much pain this would cause him? None of them cared about his feelings. This realization settled upon him like ice. This time, no one opposed Zhang Shanui's words. No one was going to say no to the wealth and influence that Mingde Hall could bring. As soon as Zhang Shanui left, Zhang Yanuo deliberately let the wig drop from his head, hoping the sisters would see and stand by his side. Zhang Vanshi and the rest stared in shock. Yunuo, what happened to your hair? Django's eyes turned slightly red. He quickly brushed it off. Nothing. It has nothing to do with my brother. It's my own fault. Zhang Vanshi heard this and was about to explode when the second sister, Zhang Xia, spoke ahead of her. If that's the case, Yuo, why don't you go back to your room? Zhang Yo didn't want to go, but he had no choice. He turned slowly, deliberately, ensuring they could see the tears on his face. Zhang Yutong and Zhang Vanshi were desperate to go after him. Zhang Sha stopped them. Some things couldn't be avoided. If they wanted a real relationship with me, they couldn't always put Zhang Inuo first. Zhang Vanshi stared at the closed door. There was no life in her voice. Xia, Meiling, didn't we agree that we would work together to convince Papa against the homecoming banquet? Didn't we agree that you knew Yule would always be our brother? And just now, you all saw what happened to Yuo's hair. Fan Shun did that, and none of you will do anything. Vanshi, do you know what Mingda Hall represents? Zhangsha pushed her glasses up. Her eyes were gleaming. The Jang company is going down year after year. If we can make a connection with Mingda Hall, we won't just become City A's leading family overnight. Entering the capital will become a real possibility. Zhangsha's dream was to take the company to the capital before her time limit. Yunua mattered, but not more than that dream. Besides, the Jang family had kept Jang Yunua very well, given him a life of luxury. But the relationship we've built over all these years, Zhang Meiling cut her off in the middle. Wangxia, if the Jang company sinks, everything you have will be gone. Without the company, how will you buy your choice of designer bags? Will you sell your years of memories for them? Zhang Wangxia fell silent. Zhang Yutong also fell silent. Their comfortable life was entirely because of the company. They all knew everything was important. But the company was more important. Hearing Zhang Sha's words, none of them went upstairs to comfort him. Zhang Inuo heard everything from the corner of the second floor. The little warmth left inside him turned completely cold. He had thought at least one person would come up. He was ready, waiting for that moment so he could put on a good act, to tell them how I cut his hair, how I insulted him. That evening, I came straight home after school. I went into the living room and saw something strange. Except for young Meiling, everyone was there. She was out for shooting. As soon as Su Yewa saw me, as if she had practiced it, she came towards me with warmth. Her face was full of smiles. Xuan, you're back. First day of school. Are you adjusting well? You must be tired. I didn't answer. I walked right past her without stopping. Zhang Xia and the rest welcomed me warmly, as if the last 2 days had never happened. Come here, sit. Even Zhang Nuo called out to me with great enthusiasm. He had accepted the reality. If something couldn't change, he would accept it for now. If he kept clashing with me, he would drift further from the people in this house. Zhang Shanyo felt satisfaction seeing all this. This is how a family should be. Zhang Nuo was wearing a wig, hiding the new style I had given him. What a shame. I found a seat, and while passing Zhang Nuo, accidentally knocked his wig down from his head. Zhang Yunuo let out a surprised sound and frantically started picking it up. Oh, my mistake. I looked at him in complete innocence. At that moment, Zhang Yunuo wanted his sisters to say something, but none of them said anything. He had no option but to swallow his anger and force a smile. I said softly, "Bad luck seems to be coming from you. Better I stay away." Though it was said softly, everyone in the room heard it clearly. Zhang Vanxia got along least with me. Hearing my words, she immediately flared up. What is that supposed to mean? Zhang Shangyue immediately interrupted her in the middle. There was a clear warning in his eyes. Is that how you talk to your brother? Zhang Vanxi loved Zhang Yinuo the most. She could even overlook the importance of Mingda Hall. Zhang Shanyu smiled compromisingly. Shivan, your elder sister's in a bad mood. Don't take it to heart. I gave a slight smile. Still angry about the sewage incident? I spread my hands. Didn't she file a report? What happened to it? Internally, she knows how many enemies she's made, bathing in sewage. Truly. Is anyone surprised? Zhang Vanxia's chest was heaving with rage. The investigation had found nothing, and so she was taking all that anger out on me. Forget it. None of you is worth saying anything to. Bad energy. I said this and stood up, moving towards the door. Xuan, don't go. We need to talk about the homecoming banquet. There are some details where your opinion is needed, Zhang Shanyu said. Today, as soon as Shen Wangqing's connection to Mingda Hall came to light, these people suddenly came to discuss the homecoming banquet with me. Earlier, even when they were forced to agree, none of them had done anything to move it forward. Talk? What is there there to talk about? Fang Shivan, don't push your luck too far, Zhang Vanshi screamed. Zhang Shunyue glared at her. If you don't want to be here, get out and apologize to Siobhan right now. He was truly angry now. Zhang Vanshi had no option but to apologize, no matter how humiliating it was. Then she moved to a corner and made herself as small as possible. She couldn't afford enmity with me, so she said nothing, but I wasn't done with them yet. I continued to say things one by one. Homecoming banquet. When my brother's status is publicly announced, do you think he will hate me? Jian Yanawa gave a smile worse than crying. Absolutely not. I am happy you're back. You are mom and dad's biological son. After all, Zhang Vanshi, why aren't you smiling? Aren't you happy about the banquet? Or do you just not smile at all? You're overthinking. Of course your sister is happy. Zhang Yanuo, a friendly reminder, stay away from me at the banquet. Standing beside me will lower the overall standard. When the talk ended and my plate was empty, I turned and went upstairs. Zhang Wangsha and the rest were staring at their untouched food, so angry they couldn't eat. I had controlled every moment of that dinner with mockery and taunts, and they hadn't been able to ask a single question about Mingda Hall. After some thought, Zhang Shenwei couldn't let the matter go. He came upstairs and knocked on my door. I was on a video call with Shen Wanking. This interruption ruined my mood. I opened the door with an irritated expression. What do you want? I want to make a connection with Mingda Hall. I almost laughed. I gave him nothing. Making a connection with Mingda Hall. The Jang family, are they even worth it? Zhang Shi hadn't expected such directness from me. He stood there, not knowing what to say. I had no interest in dragging it out. I slammed the door in his face. Zhang Shanyu's anger rose. He wanted to kick the door, but the thought of my connection to Mingda Hall stopped him and he swallowed his anger. Meanwhile, Zhang Yutong quietly slipped into Zhang Yuno's room. She found him sitting alone in front of the mirror, lost in his thoughts. Her heart ached for him. He was startled by her arrival and quickly put his wig back on. Yutong, what are you doing here? Zhang. Yutong went up to him and softly wiped the tears from his face. I am sorry, she said softly. I should have protected you better. Tears began to fall even faster. He shook his head. It's not your fault. Zhang Yutong let out a short, angry voice. He knows someone in Mingda Hall. He isn't Mingda Hall himself. An ordinary boy from a village. Does he really have so much power that he can convince Mingda Hall to work with our family? Dad and the rest aren't thinking straight right now. Desperate people grab at anything. Inuo, I promise I will always stand by you. I'll make sure he doesn't last long in that school. Zhang Yutong's hatred for me was deep to the bone. Changguo pressed his lips together. Yutong, about those posts on the campus forum today. Wang Xia said they cannot be deleted. As long as those 3 posts are there, people won't stop making fun of them. First the sewage incident, now this. Just thinking about it made Zhang Yanuo's jaw clench. Zhang Yutong's expression wasn't particularly good either. The comments below the posts were getting worse by the hour. Zhang Nuo couldn't let them stay much longer. He couldn't bear the looks from his classmates. What if we have Dark S delete them just